Gonna wait for everybody to get into the room tonight. Y'all come on in, say hello. Let me know you're here. I do not mind if you lurk. You just have to say hello before before you go sit in the corner. That's really important. I need you to do that. I need you to do that. So we're getting things rolling, getting things moving along, guys. Y'all come on in. Just let me know you're here. We always like to give everybody kind of a minute or so to get in before we really get started on stuff. So y'all come in, say hello. Be prepared to share this out. Happy holidays, 3D Everything. Good to see you. 3D Everything's got to come up with something. It's going to be somebody's birthday. It's going to be something. He always wants to make up things, right? I know you're always here, and I appreciate you being here. I really, really, really do. Y'all come on in. Jay, Mr. Cartoon, Fresh Prince, how are y'all doing? I'm going to get the guest in here shortly, and we will see what's happening. I think this is going to be a fun interview. I'm really excited. I got to talk to some people who know our guest decently well. And, I don't have any major things to ask, but it's going to be a good conversation. Just making sure we are up everywhere. If you're having any issues, let me know. I want to get my audio set, and then we will get the audio set everywhere else. And so we'll get things going. So let's bring the guest in here. If y'all don't know, it's Turinda. Turinda, how are you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
Good, doing well. Just wait for everybody to get in the room. How's your day? How's the weather where you are?
Today was pretty good. It was relatively sunny. I don't like it when it's too hot or too cold, so we're going into my favorite season. Spooky season is also where it's very tepid weather out here in the Northwest. Not too much rain, but I'm loving it.
I gotcha. Yeah, everybody seems to be into the spooky season thing. I'm not a huge spooky season person. I don't mind it. It's cool, but I'm just not, I've never been. I dressed up as a kid and I had fun and I trick-or-treated in college, right? But it was all about the candy for me. It wasn't really about anything else past the candy.
Fair enough.
And so I figured once I kind of hit sophomore in college, it was time to stop trick-or-treating, right? So probably a good thing. Y'all come on in, guys. Say hello. Remember my rule I always talk about. You got to come in, say hello. You don't have to say anything else. Just let me know you're here before you go sit in the corner, and we will be good. So raise your hand if you know our guest this evening. If you've met her anywhere, if you've seen her around. She hangs out in the community a good bit, but she's a busy woman, so it's probably hard to run across her sometimes. Especially, we're kind of getting into that season. Happy Thursday to you, Printcraft Finds. How are you? What's up, K Dog? We got
I
Nate.
can't see the comments, so
Yeah, that's true. If you wanted to jump in, you're using your phone though, so you don't really have anything to watch. But yeah, so we're getting in here. We got Martin's 3D hanging out. We got a lot of people coming in tonight. I'm excited to see everybody. So y'all get your questions in. Make sure that make sure you get your questions in for Turinda. And I always ask them during the interview. Y'all be patient, but I do use your questions. Y'all know that. This should be a really good interview for you. Those of you who know him, put some little secrets down in the room so that we can ask some questions and get some things out of her that we need to get out of her.
I'm nervous now.
I know, right? That's always the fun
dear. I know Peyton's got a whole laundry list.
Uh-oh. Well, that's cool. Well, guys, we'll kind of get started. We're going to slowly work our way into this. Y'all know that I am at a different place now as far as my lives and everything, and we just kind of start now. I actually have so I know you might not know, Turinda, but I have been renting an office space. It's kind of one of those shared office spaces because I live in the middle of nowhere and my internet is horrible. And So I have to come into town like 2 hours early and set up and get everything rolling. And that's why the testing is so important. But I want to show y'all this before we get started. I think this is really important. This is one of the things I want people to know about the Asylum Life community. So many people say, oh, go join Asylum's Discord. Let's stop calling it that. Let's call it the Asylum Life Discord. It's a safe place for crazy ideas. That's all it is. It's not about me. It's about the community. And to prove it, y'all know I have maker coins that I pass out at my shows. I wasn't gonna have enough printed this year. This box is a whole box of my maker coins. Look at that. And this got shipped to me today by 3D Everything. And I've got Nate's print shop is doing some coins for me. Got Michael doing some coins for me. Got Chris doing some coins for me. A lot of people. So I'm going to have several thousand maker coins now because the community came together to help me. And guys, they don't just help me. We help everybody. And so Piled 3D, right now, last count, based on what they told me they printed, I'm going to have close to 2,000 maker coins, I think, which is good. Because for for Remurf, I had 500 coins and had passed them all out by noon the first day. So, yeah, it gets a little crazy. But guys, we're going to be starting our interview here. I've already seen the ice cream question. We will get into the ice cream question and everything. But just so y'all know, guys, this is Tarinda of North Pole 3D Printing. And we're going to learn some really interesting things about her. I'm just going to kind of ask her to give a little bit of a synopsis. Like, give us that elevator pitch. When somebody says, what do you do? How do you answer that question?
Well, what do I do? I am the co-owner and CEO of North Pole 3D Printing. We run an on-site 3D printing store inside of the Vancouver Mall, and that's in Washington, friends, not in Canada. I am in the United States. I have to say it all the time. We are one of the first of its type in the country to run in a high-pressure retail environment. We're in a really cool space. We have our printers on site, and you can come into our store and just kind of see everything. I also have built my community on TikTok teaching people how to use the slicer. That's kind of where I dedicated my energy. It's where my little ballpark exists. So That's what I do. I own a 3D printing company inside of a mall. And yeah, that's what we do.
Okay, awesome. Well, there we go. So is this a full-time year-round store?
Yeah, it's open 7 days a week, with the exception, I think this year they were closed Easter, and then last year, Thanksgiving and Christmas. Aside from that, yeah, open every day of the week, staffed between myself, my husband, and I have 2 full-time employees. Yeah, we're staffed, locked and loaded.
And so are you Christmas year-round then?
No, we wanted to be. We used to be formerly Santa's 3D Toys, but the mall, when we went to get into the store, we wanted to have a Christmas store year round because it's my husband's favorite holiday, and the mall was like, no. So we settled on North Pole because we all know where Santa lives.
Yep.
So that's we're definitely going big for Christmas this year, though.
Okay. Now, so as far as Santa, does he live specifically at the pole, or is he like off to the side? Do you kind of know where the secret place is?
You know, I think if I shared that secret, I would make a lot of kids really sad and settle a lot of debate. So we'll settle that on a different day.
Okay. All right. You know, I'm digging, guys. I'm trying to find this information out for y'all. So how long have you been running the store?
We opened the store, I believe, in February of this year. Prior to the store, we ran a kiosk right outside of the store to market test on a short-term lease for a few months just to see if getting a full-fledged store would be worth it. And the kiosk numbers don't lie. We're numbers nerds, and we people counted and decided that making that our first home was a really good first move. Being in the industry since we've been actually in active business for now over 3 years.
That's awesome. That is great. And that's a pretty good sized mall too, right? From if I
Yeah, 9
know
million
it.
traffic a
Okay.
year.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. No, that's awesome. That is great. So, with running a store like that, I mean, and keeping sales, I mean, it's not cheap to sit in a mall and have a store. It's not a cheap thing at all to do. I mean, you must be the prints must be kind of flying out the door.
They definitely do. We started our business with 50 printers a number of years ago, and then when Bamboo came out and shook the industry, we upgraded. I believe they were Anycubic Vipers,
Yep.
Viper
Hmm.
Viper printers, and we upgraded 50 of those down to 30 Bamboos. Um, and then we've stuck with the 30 for all of this time, and then we opened up the store in the mall, and we were like, yeah, we're gonna need more, and we're gonna need more fast. So we bought another 17 of the A1s, and then three, well, we had four, but we have three Anycubic Cobra 3 Max combos for a total, I think, of 51. I quit counting, there's just too many.
Okay.
So
Yeah. Yeah. No, that is really, really cool. Hey, K Dog, we're gonna get to that question about the new location in a bit. I can't spoil everything.
everybody's
Just no,
jumping.
I know everybody's excited about it. I think it's really cool. And so we'll definitely get in there and we'll talk about that a little bit more. But so wow, so that many printers. So let's what was your very first 3D printer?
So I'm gonna sound like a cheater here because Mike, my husband, was the one that started the company,
Okay.
and I want to say it was an Anycubic, but I came on board after he had the Bamboos. So I started on a Bamboo. I live by the Bamboo. I die by the Bamboo for right now.
I understand.
Like
I
getting
get
the
it.
Anycubics, it's like I love the slicers and the Orca and playing with all the slicers and stuff, but getting the new Anycubic Cobra 3 Max combos, I have just been like set in my ways. Like, this is not Bamboo. This is not the heaven the way I want it to. I want to throw you out the window. I'm done.
I gotcha.
So yeah, I'm a Bamboo baby.
Okay, I gotcha. Well, and you kind of looked over to the side like the person who started with 3D printing is sitting over there. Is he sitting over
No,
there? Oh, okay.
no, I was looking at my cat who's like, I'm
Oh,
afraid she's gonna like jump down and like knock over the whole. I have like this whole final destination thing going on. I have four cats in the background and I'm watching to make sure none of them like jump off screen or scratch my face off. No, my husband's upstairs sleeping.
okay, okay. I didn't know if he could answer the very first printer question. Okay, so
No,
you
no.
came in on the bamboos. So are we
Yeah.
talking like the X1Cs? Are we talking what level of bamboos were you coming into?
So the first one that we got was the X1C
Okay.
with the AMS. And then, I mean, in hindsight, being a farm and being the factory that we are with the current setup that we have, I would not have bought more X1Cs. We have just the one, but the P1P with AMS will do the job
Right.
for everything, you know, when you're printing primarily in PLA and PETG.
Yeah.
So I have the one X1 carbon and then I think like 15 P1Ps and 8 or 9 P1Ss with AMS. I can't keep count
Okay.
again.
Yeah. No,
And
that's
then the A1.
it's cool to lose like count of printers. I think so many people in this room would love to be in that situation. It's probably not as easy as we think it would be running that many printers. There's probably a lot of logistics and a lot of farm management and making sure everything is there. Normally, my
Try
next
not to pop
question
the
is,
power.
so what is your favorite bamboo printer? Like, is there one that you go to all the time?
I don't have a favorite one. I'm not cool like some kids out there. They name theirs like Yoda and Bruce or
Me
Redheaded
either.
Stepchild.
Me
I've seen
either.
someone name their printer that. But I will say that it's hard for me to really I'm tied between the A1 and the P1P with the AMS, and the only reason being is they function for different types of prints differently
Okay.
better than the other,
Okay.
if that makes any sense.
Okay, no, that makes sense. Are you the primary printer at this point? Is your husband running? How's that working?
Well, he trained me on the slicer, and then I kind of like took over, and I like tell him you're not allowed to touch the printers anymore. Like, we have different ideas of how things need to print after I've done the deep dive and the research on how filament behaves and how it really needs to print a certain way to make it look super clean, and he'll just throw it down under one setting, and I'll be like, why are we stringing on 14 printers? Oh, I know what you did. Please don't touch the printers. I love you, but no.
So are you
So,
managing that many printers through just the slicer?
yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah, I
you
mean,
don't
I
have
have the
any
farm
type.
manager.
What farm manager do you use?
The bamboo one. That's the
Okay.
new farm manager. I mean, we'll use that for error reporting and so on and so forth. But I am like a diehard, like I will go in on every single slice and manually tweak my settings and then send it, and then manually tweak my settings and then send it. So it can take me a good solid 4 or 5 hours a day just to get all of them going.
Yeah, I bet.
So
I bet.
yeah.
Well, that's pretty cool. So with bamboo, are you seeing anything right now that they're doing that makes you a little uncomfortable? Are they moving in a weird direction? Are you loving what they're doing? Are you seeing anything with the printers that are happening? I mean, we've got new printers that have come out. We've got software updates, all sorts of things happening. So how are you feeling about
Yeah.
any of it?
I feel like I'm getting a little bit of whiplash with their releases. I know they just dropped the H2S right after the H2D. Lee Shepard actually dropped off the H2D for like 3 or 4 weeks. I got to play with it. Absolutely loved the thing. I loved it. I loved how it was compatible in my slicer with the current farm setup that I
Right.
have. It was very easy to onboard it. I loved the cost of printing compared to, a standard print from the X1 Carbon or the P series or the A series
Right.
printers. It was great. Will I sell off 4 or 5 of my units to buy one? I'm not there yet. Business comes first, and until they reinvent something that makes cost sense for a farm, I just probably won't jump on board. I
Right.
believe they're coming out with the H2C with the tool heads on the side. I'd rather wait until there are forums. I'd rather not be the forum
Right.
before I decide to jump on board and get one. That's just my experience with it so far.
No, I
But
get
they're
that.
cool. They're
Yeah.
fun printers.
They are fun printers. They are for so you haven't played a lot with it. Like I'm like you with the printers. I started off with Prusa, so I named mine Prusa 001, Prusa 002, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
I'm kind of a boring person when it comes to naming them as well. But and I lost my question. But so you've never dug down into, like, you haven't been a person that sat there and put printers together. You have just started with
No.
the bamboos. Now, do you do the maintenance on the bamboos?
No, I have a Sam I am for that.
Okay.
I have a Sam I am. He's my newest employee. He works full time for me, and he he's 18 years old, and last year was the president of his robotics team. He came into my
Oh,
store one day to
nice.
buy filament, and we convinced him to buy a bamboo. Immediately went out and bought a bamboo and fell in love, and we were like, we need to keep you. Like, when you find that passion in somebody that young and
Yeah.
somebody that's smart and talented, I just grabbed him by the vice grips. I said, you are now my adopted son, and you are to fix my printers. He's
Right.
so brilliant.
That's good.
I can do it. I just don't like to, right?
Yeah. Wait, Printcraft Finds ask about the Voron project.
Ah, yes. So we did buy the Voron kit from West 3D.
Okay.
And we started building it I mean Sam. So yes, we started building it.
Okay.
Currently right now it's still being built, and it's not complete yet with the things going on with Oregon and Clackamas. We are kind of tabling that right now. We let Sam take it home, and we said, hey, when you get a couple free minutes, which he doesn't have, start putting it together. But yeah, it's still being built.
Okay. I gotcha. Hey, let's see. I've got a question here. Who is that? Piled 3D. I can't really say that, but if you check out my link tree, you'll find everything you need to know. I'm not allowed to. You get banned or I guess bananaed or whatever people say nowadays. Just want to be careful. But check out the profile and the link tree, and you'll find what you need to find to answer that question for you. But guys, thank y'all for coming in. Right now, we are interviewing our new friend, Tarinda. Now, Tarinda, interesting name. So I wanna know a little bit about Tarinda, where that name comes from. What's the story behind that? It's gotta be something special.
It really isn't. And the funny thing is that I actually did the same thing with my oldest daughter. But my mom went to high school with a gal named Tarinda, and this girl just was so talented, so well spoken. My mom really admired her, and her name was Tarinda K. Payton, and I was born Tarinda K. Pickett.
Okay.
So that was kind of the backstory behind that. Likewise, I had my daughter Ari. There was a girl named Ari, and this was before Game of Thrones. Arya fan, thank you very much.
She was the
And
best. Not quite the
yeah,
best.
that she was like the only Ari at the time. But this Ari girl was so like again well spoken. Why I really admired her, so I ended up naming my daughter after her. It wasn't until I was in my early like 22, 23 the Google algorithm like picked up on the name Tarinda, and I found out that the word Tarinda, if you add an H to it, that word is a direct Indonesian translation for the words the most beautiful.
Oh, cool.
So it's an Indonesian name.
Well, there you
After
go.
all these years, I didn't know what my name meant. I just knew it was named after a gal my mom went to high school with. But that's
Okay.
what Tarinda means.
That's still cool. That's still special. I mean,
Yeah,
when your mom names you after a friend, that's a pretty cool relationship.
yeah.
And means the mom is has expectations, right?
Oh, Mama's running my shop right now.
Oh, really?
She'd
Really?
be running my shop. My mom and my sister, I was able to afford to bring them on board.
Okay.
My sister runs my Saturday market location. My daughter is in and out part time. She's 18. She's still trying to kind of get her grounding and do her thing. But yeah, I'm trying to
Okay.
make it a family affair. So
Okay. That's really cool, and
yeah,
it's hard to do sometimes.
yeah,
And just when you're trying to bring family in, you want to make sure you get them in the good positions, and everybody can do what they're good at, and that
yeah,
can be a difficult thing. And so now you said Saturday location. Are you doing shows on Saturdays
yeah,
as well as the store?
yeah. That's how we started. So we still have under Santa's 3D Toys, we still have a pretty prominent Etsy store with I think like 7,000, 7,400 followers or something like that.
Okay.
I don't keep
Okay.
track of it. That still runs, and then every Saturday we have a Portland Skidmore Market location that we set an 8x8 up out there, right down across the street from the Portland Saturday Market, which is a super huge tourist attraction.
Okay.
And we've had that for a few years. And then this year we did Camas Days. I sponsored the children's parade out there because that's where I grew up. And then we did the Clark County Fair, and we have one more show at the Portland Expo Center Holiday Market before we close the year out at the Saturday Market. So we still
Okay.
do all of that in addition to now drive traffic to our store.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And we'll go ahead now and ask this. So, and now you're about to open a second location, is the rumor?
Yes, a second one. We're expanding to the Clackamas Town Center in Oregon.
Okay.
Clackamas, here we come. We needed the space. I know when we first got the store in Vancouver, I was like, I do not know how we're going to fill this store up. Oh, let me tell you, it happened quick. And I really wanted to expand on my vision of being able to, as you guys know, on TikTok, I teach tutorials.
Right.
I came from a new hire training background. I spent 15 years in corporate America for various financial institutions, teaching people how to do collections. And I did that off and on. So I wanted to take that skill set of new hire training, and I really wanted to bring that into something that I'm passionate about. And I don't have the space to do that in the Vancouver location. So our goal
Okay.
was to double our square footage into Clackamas and then set up an instructional design area where I can invite kids in and adults alike to teach them how to use their printers or to slice or to pick files or to, if you're a commercial user, I want to show you guys where to find your files, save your files, how to organize them, and so on and so forth. So that's going to be a really good, fun Q2 next year. But that's
That's
that's my
cool.
dream.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So more of a kind of a store with a 3D printer maker space kind of in the back.
hmm
Now, are you going to be teaching design, or are you just pretty much going to be handling slicing and finding files and using specific printers?
That is a really good question. I will say I don't do any design. I don't do any design, and I'm actually kind of proud to say that I don't. And the reason being is there are so many talented people out there that have already learned what would take me so much time, and
Mm,
that's something that's very limited to me at this time. But there are so many talented people out there that I am able to collaborate and highlight and collaborate with, let me rephrase that,
Yeah.
that I'm really in a place where I prefer the collaboration. I prefer showcasing and highlighting the talents of somebody who does something that I don't know, if
Yeah.
that makes any
Yeah,
sense.
no, that's totally that totally makes sense. And that's even a cool kind of, you can pull people into the store and they can teach that, and then you can, because I mean,
Yep.
slicing, especially when you're trying to do it right, slicing is not just drop it in and go.
No.
A lot of tweaking, learning how to tweak your filaments if you don't have the profiles, building profiles, just all
Yep.
those types of things. So that's pretty cool. And you're probably in an area where that would be real popular, especially if you're able to support 2 stores. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
That is pretty
Yeah,
awesome.
it's going to be very exciting. I think that when it comes to business, especially in our industry, not
Right.
necessarily with every retail industry, but with our industry, it takes a village. I mean, I know very few people out there um, that know the whole umbrella and the whole blanket or make this look like, hey, I know everything. I didn't take CAD in school, right?
Right.
Um, so yeah, it for me anyway, it has taken a village, picking brains and asking to collaborate and, pulling people in left, right, backwards, and sideways. Like, I don't know this. How do I do this? So it's been a really fun experience along the road, and the community's been super open and supportive, which I think is super cool.
Awesome. Awesome. We good. I'm glad you landed on the right side of the 3D printing community.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
think everybody in the room here can attest that there's a couple of different sides to the 3D printing community. And
Yeah.
sometimes it takes a little bit of time to get where you want to be, but that's awesome that you found the community. And that's kind of what we're building here. That's the Asylum Live idea. And so that community is really, really big for us here, and it's really cool to see you working within that and have the support and everything. So that's exciting. Can't wait to see that grow, guys.
Yeah.
Just as a reminder, and for all the new people, as y'all come in, that we are interviewing Turinda of North Pole 3D Printing, and just finding out, we've been talking about her stores and all the things she's doing right now, but we're going to start digging into some more personal stuff here in the next area.
Ooh.
And the first personal question we always have to ask is, what is your favorite ice cream?
Oh man. If I wasn't lactose intolerant, like super lactose intolerant, I do eat
Oh,
non-dairy ice cream, but I am a sucker, like super sucker for caramel.
caramel.
So
Okay.
creme brulee, like anything caramel flavored, that's my go-to. Dulce de leche
Yeah,
is I
dulce
think
de
what it's
leche.
called. Dulce de leche, I
Yeah,
like that, but it has to be non-dairy.
non-dairy.
So
So,
non-dairy, anything.
so yogurt and stuff is more your speed,
No,
or where do you?
no, it just has to be straight up non-dairy.
Okay,
Like the oat
okay,
milk, I think is what I'm on a kick on right now.
okay.
But yeah, no, if I had regular dairy, I'd be dead for 2 days.
Yeah. And then, I was talking to somebody earlier today, and they said I should ask you about hot sauce.
Oh yeah, I
Okay.
love me some hot sauce.
Okay. All right.
There's that Frank's Red Hot sauce. I'll put that beep on everything. Yeah, that's me, but with any kind of hot sauce that is sauce before hot, if that makes any
Nope.
sense.
I'm with you. I'm with you. Like, I want the heat, but I also want to taste my food. Is that
Right,
okay?
exactly.
All
Like
right.
I tried, so Daniel over at West 3D, I was down there and he gave me a bunch of his hot sauces because he carries a hot sauce line in addition to his 3D
Right.
printing
Yeah.
stuff, right? His
Yeah.
filament, the ambrosia filament. And so he sent me home with a whole bunch of them. And I'm trying my breakfast burrito and I'm like, oh, you know what? I'm going to try the wild berry. I'm trying not to say bad words. I don't want to get in trouble, but it's called whoop bars, right?
Yeah.
And
You're
it says
fine.
some bad words on the back, right? So I dump this stuff onto my burrito. I bite into it because that's how I drown it in hot sauce.
Okay.
And I literally felt my ears burning. It was so hot.
Oh wow.
I was like, okay, so we're gonna have to dump this. This is going away. We will table this for another day.
Okay. So Frank's, is that kind of your go-to, or do you have like a
No,
favorite? What's your favorite?
my favorite, the kick I'm on right now is the West 3D caramel apple. green hot sauce. It's like a salsa verde, but it's
Okay.
got this caramel apple flavor. Like if you buy it, you could marinate your chicken in it. I kid you not, marinate your chicken in it, and it tastes almost tropical. It is
Okay.
the most unique flavor profile that I have ever tried in my entire life, and I had to go down and buy 3 more bottles of it from him because I love this stuff
That's
so
awesome.
much. I eat a lot of Chinese food because we're in the mall, and I just dump it on my chicken. Caramel apple hot sauce. It's delicious.
Okay. Okay. That's kind of cool. Oh, let's see. Do you make custom 3D prints for people that you print the same day? I don't understand the question. I think they're kind of like if somebody comes in your store, and I'm going to do some random questions here as we move on, but um, if somebody sees a model you have and you don't have it printed in the colors that they want, do you do custom stuff or do you just print and
Yeah.
put on the shelf? Okay.
Yeah, yeah, we do walk-ins. I have found that because I am the 99.8% of the time I'm the printer.
Right.
I've found that my time is becoming more and more limited. So a lot of the time when I have a walk-in and it's a complex project, I hate to shut people down, but I'm like, hey, email me your idea, email me your pictures, send it to my email so I can look at it when I'm not trying to get the other 51 printers going. If it's something simple, they already have the STL available. They can pop it over in an email. I
Okay.
have done things, thrown them on a printer same day. Short projects, couple hours later, they come back. But 3D
Yeah.
printing is not a fast process. So
No,
a lot of the
no.
time, it's email, and I'll slice and dice and get it ready for you, and usually next day.
So maybe little flat things or little signs or just different kind
Yeah.
of okay. Okay. So you do those
Yep.
custom. That's awesome. That is
Yeah.
awesome. Let's see if there's anything else. Got lots of people chatting about different things in here. So that's your favorite, the caramel apple hot spice thing. That
Yep.
sounds weird to me.
West3D.com. I hate to be an walking ad for them, but I'm
No,
telling
that's
you that
okay.
hot sauce
West
is
3D.
legit.
West 3D is awesome. They're awesome people. I really like them.
Yeah.
They're
No,
going to be
West
at
3D is
3D
awesome.
Printopia. So I'm excited. Are you going to make it to
I'm
Printopia?
Mike,
Yeah.
Mike is my ground. I am like a hot air balloon. I will fly away if you don't have a tether. So you'll hear me talk about red tape quite frequently. Like our walls in our Clackamas Town Center are like this black color. We're just getting the lights on in the building, and I'm like, oh well, I'm just gonna 3D print a stencil that I generate with AI, and I'll just 3D print the whole thing over the black wall. It'll look like a giant. And Mike's like, no, it'll be 36 roll of filament, and it'll take 20 printers 30 days.
Yeah.
So, that's the kind of stuff that I get to deal with. All these really great ideas that get squashed before they even come to fruition. So,
Yeah. No, I gotcha. I gotcha. Well, I'm definitely like I'm a sriracha and Louisiana sauce guy. I don't go
ooh,
heavy into the other stuff, but that's kind of where I sit. Definitely sriracha on
sriracha's
the eggs in the morning. So,
sriracha is delicious. I do love all hot sauce, but right
yeah.
now I'm on that caramel apple kick just because it's so unique tasting.
Yeah. Yeah. That sounds interesting. That sounds interesting.
You gotta
So,
try it.
are you drinking anything right now? Do you have like what's your favorite beverage that you hang out with? Okay. All right. Now we're in a
I'm
paper cup.
currently drinking Diet Pepsi. I tend to chew. I made my husband buy me a crunch ice maker. Like not just
Oh,
any ice, the
yes,
crunch
the
ice.
crunch
It's
ice. Of
gotta be the
course.
crunch ice.
Of course. Yeah, we
So
called it
I chew
Sonic
crunch
Ice
ice.
growing up. We called it Sonic Ice growing up. So I'm right there with you.
Oh yeah, Sonic Ice. Oh yes.
Yeah.
Hook me up with some crunch ice. I'm a happy mama. I drink a lot of coffee. I don't drink.
Okay.
If I do drink, I drink NA beer. My go-to flavor for NA beer is like a Corona with lime or a
Okay.
Coors Edge. I do
Okay.
like the feeling of being a grown-up without the feelings
Of
of
being
being a
a grown
grown-up,
up.
right?
Yeah, I understand. I gotcha. I
You
gotcha.
know,
No,
I
that
want to
makes
be the
sense.
last one remembering everything at the party.
Hmm.
So,
Well, and that's the best position to be in. That's the most
right.
fun position, and the one with the video and pictures. That's
Oh, yes. I'm
that's
just glad that my drinking days happened before we were able to very quickly capture things and post them to social
right,
media.
right. I gotcha. I gotcha.
Maybe one day one video will surface. We'll see. I was a
So
trooper.
I know you've talked about training. You talked about you did some business training. You've done you're going into training now, and you do some really good tutorials. Well, we might dig into that a little bit later, just so people kind of know the things that you talk about on your channel. Um, what so what were when you were in high school or when you were in elementary school, what were your hobbies? Like what did you like to do?
So this is actually kind of an interesting question because I had my hands a little bit in everything.
Okay.
But the core of me and my essence, I talked to you about how my mom is working with me, and I'm not going to say for me, she's working with me even though I'm paying her.
Right.
That's how it is because she's still my mom. We all know who at the end of the day is the boss. So
I gotcha.
um my parents started, and I believe it was like 1992, give or take 90, maybe it's 1990. They started a company called Alexis Corporation with my grandpa and my uncle. And they were a printer remanufacturing company, so they remanufactured LaserJet printer
Okay.
toner cartridges.
Gotcha.
Um, they figured out how to refill inkjets, I think, if I recall correctly. But from a very young age, my parents lived, ate, and breathed this company. So a lot of my early childhood was me going to the shop and playing Dig Dug on DOS. That's the earliest thing that I think I can remember as a kid. At 5 years old, I was one of the very first kids in my entire school that had a computer in their bedroom.
Okay.
By the time I was like 8 or 9 years old, my dad had me remanufacturing these laser toner cartridges and running test prints on HP 4000s. And by the time I was 12, he put me on the phones. He taught me QuickBooks. He was taking
That's great.
advantage
No,
of
that's
having
awesome.
that child,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's a baller on a budget for you. But I got to learn a lot about business and the engineering aspect of building computers or wiping viruses. And so when I got back into 3D printing, I was like, oh well, a lot of this language actually is kind of similar to what I kind of grew up with,
Okay.
even though it's not, if
Yeah.
that makes any sense.
I
I'm very tech savvy in a very low tech savvy way. I'm not good with this whole technology and the social media and the live streams and stuff like that, but I'm not really like on social media all the time, if that makes any sense.
Right. Well,
So
and everybody has their niches and they have their little areas
right.
where they're a little bit better than other things. And
Yeah.
so you didn't really do a lot of extracurricular stuff then. You pretty much just worked with
No,
family.
I spent a lot of my childhood around other adults. My parents
Okay.
had 20 to 40 employees at any given moment in time, and we did a lot of traveling as a family. We did a lot of vacationing: Mexico, Canada, Alaska, Hawaii, yada yada. But no, as far as like, I didn't really have a lot of friends outside of school because I was usually with my parents at their shop, or they were doing a work event, or they weren't able to drive me here or do that. So
Right.
I didn't do too much. When I got into high school, I got into theater and drama. So
Okay.
I was a really good singer and as an opera singer. I was one of the top 100 youth singers in the nation and in a choir competition. But
Awesome.
for the most part, I was kind of like a homebody. Like I played home, I stayed home. I played The Sims. I
Okay.
cheat coded myself out of every video game.
I
You
know,
know,
right?
Kazaa, Napster. I mean, I ripped CDs like nobody's business. Those were my days. That was my prime time.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. So Sims,
yeah.
what are you into like any video games right now? Or do you even take that time? Is that kind of the past right now?
I mean, the last game that I played was Valheim. I played that with Mike, and I grinded on that for like a week, and then we were sick of it, and then we opened the store, and then
Uh,
it was like I have no time for anything. I'm lucky
right.
to go home and watch like an hour of TV just to turn my brain off before I go to bed right now. That's kind of where I'm at.
Right. Right. I gotcha. So what's your favorite TV show right now? What are you watching?
Currently,
Yeah.
we're watching not the old one, but the new Quantum Leap.
Oh, I haven't. Saw that the other day. Like I was a big Quantum Leap fan.
Yeah.
What is it? Is it good? Are they doing justice to the older show? Or
Here's the thing is Mike has seen the first one. I haven't seen the first
okay,
one. So I'm kind of going into the new one blind, but there are a lot of references from what Mike has told me to the original series that they pay tribute to. So
okay,
as a person who appreciates the original Quantum Leap, you're going to say, wow, they really wanted to show a lot of respect to the original series in the new series.
okay. Okay.
Worth
Um,
the watch. It's very good. I'm on season 2. No
yeah,
spoilers.
I've been right there. It's in my list, and I've been right there a couple of times to start it, but I don't know if
It's
I'm
good.
ready. I liked the original, and it always scares me to start a copy of. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's always
they pulled characters, or they created characters that are descendants of original characters.
okay.
So
That I could
they
probably
they
handle
don't
then.
they don't do away with the original at,
Okay.
like, in that sense, but they pay homage to the original by bringing in descendants or relatives of the original cast,
Okay.
which I
Yeah.
thought was really cool.
Mr. Cartoon is saying it's a sequel to the original series. So okay,
Yeah,
that makes me
yeah,
feel better.
they paid, like I said, they were very appreciative of the very first Quantum Leap, which I look forward to watching one day.
Yeah, that's cool. That is cool. So, any instruments do you play? Anything? Piano, guitar?
I do play piano.
Okay.
I'm self-taught, but with my fingernails that I argue with Mike over, I need to have, these are necessary. They pick filaments. This is a business write-off, my friends, okay? But with my nails being as long as they are, it's hard for me to play piano. Plus my daughter broke her piano, so
uh,
I let her take my piano, which is fine. But I also play the flute. But again, it's just one of those things where I just don't have a lot of hobby time anymore. My hobby
yeah.
is my business. My passion is my business. So
Yeah, and I get that. And a lot of the reasons I like to kind of go back and look is just kind of see, what did you do? How did you lead up to this point? So we see,
yeah.
we see the family. We see, I assume you have a very supportive family, a family that just kind of comes around you and supports you. Would you say that?
Oh, absolutely. If something catastrophic happened, I could call my sister who lives about 30, 40 miles away from me, and she'd be there in a heartbeat. They all know how to do the basic thing: man the store, collect the money, and go,
Right.
right?
And and then I know so many technical people either sing or they play instruments or they do something musical, and I don't know if it's the math. I don't know if it's, like I'm absent math, but I'm very musical and I'm very technical. And then I know a lot
Yeah,
of people who are very mathy, very technical, and don't do a ton of music, but they do a little, right? And so
yeah,
you end up with these mindsets that are really interesting, that move
yeah,
people forward. And so, would
yeah.
you consider yourself like more math, more music, more?
The funny thing is, and I'm not a huge fan of tooting my own horn, but like I never went to college. Okay,
Okay.
we'll just say that. Never went to college because I grew up in a business background. I already knew how to, you know, file taxes in a way that makes it so you don't have to pay a ton of money. I know how to, start a corporate company. This is not my first company. This is my second,
Okay.
third company. And and so I didn't find a value or a benefit or a need to go to college because I already knew how to do all the things you have to go to college to learn how to do. And if I didn't know how to do it, I knew how to find it, right?
Right.
Um, in the state testing, I think the last test that I took was like the state aptitude testing, my sophomore year of high school. And I tested out on that aptitude test in the 97.8 percentile
Okay.
of the state. So I was taking AP classes. I took, advanced everything. I'm very good in everything except for current world, like politics, current world history.
Okay.
So I just don't, that's not interesting to me. So
Yeah.
I'm very good at math, science. I can pick up on things pretty quick. I'm very good with writing. Even though I kind of have gotten lazy with this whole AI thing.
It's easy to do.
ChatGPT can do things I can think of in like 2 seconds.
Yeah, it's easy
you
to
know,
do. You just have to take out the let's dive into and take out all the little things that it tries to
right?
that really say it's AI. But
Yeah, there's a lot of training that I had to do on AI, both on Gemini and on ChatGPT. Like, you have to teach, one of the very first thing I tell everybody that decides to start using AI is to tell her to be objective. And yes, ChatGPT to me is a girlfriend. She's a girl, all right?
me
But
too.
you have to tell her to be objective. Otherwise, when you ask her questions, she's going to answer your questions one-sided to cater to you, to what you want to hear,
Right.
unless you tell her otherwise. So you got to teach her to be objective. If you don't do that, then you're doing yourself a disservice using or asking questions that are opinionated. So
Yeah. Yeah, I call my Chat GPT Clara. So
Clara.
mine
Okay,
has a
so we're in
name. So
agreement. She's a
yeah, we're
girl.
we're right there. Yeah,
She's
definitely.
a girl.
Claude is a guy. Chat
There we
GPT
go.
is a girl. So yeah, I'm right there with you. Right there with you.
I love
So
it.
hey guys, if y'all have any questions, get them in the room. We are sitting here talking to Tarinda. Of North Pole 3D printing. I always hate using the word entrepreneur, but a businesswoman. Let's say it that way. Let's say businesswoman. Everybody uses the word entrepreneur now. And I think it's kind of lost its meaning. But so now you said this is your third business. So what was your first business that you created?
My first business was so what happened? There was a tech boom and something happened. My parents at one point got divorced and they took a Lexus Corporation because at this point my grandfather and my uncle had stepped out and sold the whole company to my dad.
Okay.
And my mom and my dad were running the company. They got divorced and they split that company in half. And for some reason I don't remember what happened because this is all kind of a blur at this point, but my dad took his half of the customers and we started together a company called Imaging Support and Supply. So I was doing the exact same thing. I was doing all the accounting, I was doing all the taxes, I was doing the phone calls and the who's and how's and what's in the who's it's for my dad. But as things kind of progressed, I realized I really didn't want to be in what my parents were doing anymore, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
So I ended up shutting that company down just because I didn't want to deal with it anymore. I liked working for somebody else and letting somebody else deliver me pennies on the dollars of what I was worth every 2 weeks, right? It was
Yeah.
just convenient. Health insurance is all taken care of. You don't have to file anything except for your taxes.
Yeah.
And that binky, that comfort is something that I lived on for a very long time. After that, I want to say 2018. I want to say it was 2018. I was in a relationship with somebody who we ran a shoe resale company. So we would go and Goodwill hop all the way from Salmon Creek,
Okay.
Washington, all the way down 50 miles south to McMinnville, Oregon, 3 or 4 times a week. And we would go check out the tags on the Nike shoes and then buy the ones that sold on eBay for a profit. Then we take them home, clean them, prep them, photograph them, and put them on eBay. And that was actually a pretty good, lucrative business. But when my ex-fiance and I separated, I decided that I was going to let him have the company.
Gotcha.
And just move on to something else.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Okay. It was a good
cool.
company. That was really fun.
Yeah. Now, was your husband, when y'all met, was he already 3D printing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
He had already when we got into a relationship, he was already full blown about 7 or 8 months into standby. I have a spam phone call coming in. I gotta hit the hang up button on. There we go. He was already 3D printing about 7 or 8 months, and he had the Saturday Market location, and he had just completed one Christmas on the Etsy store. I was printing everything off of SD cards, and it was just, plug and play. Oh, just print it off the SD card. It wasn't until last Christmas, it was last October, sales had plummeted. Like we were 80% down from the previous October because the majority of our Etsy products were Cinderwing products. And this is nothing wrong about Cinderwing, but we all know that Cinderwing has flooded the market when it comes to, even though my husband's first company was an SEO company. So we know how to do all of the SEO stuff, but yeah, our sales were down 80%, and we were like, shoot, well, what are we gonna do? Right? Well, we put out the Reuben-Ball's gear ball, which is still making money. I mean, these things are still making money. It's just that it's so saturated with 3D prints online that we decided, okay, well, what are we gonna do different than everybody else is doing? And what can we do with our skill set and our knowledge? So we decided, okay, well, everybody's blowing up Christmas shows. 3D printers are back ordered, on wait lines and wait lists for shows. Well, instead of spending our Christmas budget on shows and fighting for real estate at these shows, let's dump our whole Christmas budget into a kiosk at the mall. And what did that do? The mall isn't going to put another 3D printer
Right.
in the mall
Yeah.
because we're already there. So
Yep.
we don't have to worry about people encroaching on our real estate. Um, it is more expensive. We're dealing with bigger numbers, but we took our entire Christmas budget and we dumped it into the kiosk, and it ended up doing very well. So we decided, okay, well, we're gonna turf it. We're gonna stake our territory, and that's what we're doing right now is first movers advantage. We can take that
Right.
big money, and it's not for the faint of heart. For those of you
Uh,
out there that are thinking of opening something in the mall, you get fined if you're
Malls
not
are
open
tough.
on time. You get fined if you don't clean your windows. You get fined if you stay open too late. You get fined. They are quick to write out those little tickets. I
Yep.
haven't gotten one yet because I'm a good business owner. But you have to be open 7 days a week. You have to be open on their hours. You have to be open on holidays you don't want to be open on. And you gotta be there,
Yeah.
especially, doing what we're doing. You gotta be in a good mood every day, you know.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's not for the faint of heart. It's a lot of time commitment for those of you out there that have families. And that's a question a lot of people ask me is how do you do it? Well, all my kids are virtually grown. So
Yeah. Yeah. No, that that's definitely an important part. So you basically, because so many people talk about their spouse and how bought a 3D printer, like Courtney from Filament Stories. One of her stories that she talks about is her husband wanted to buy a 3D printer, and she's like, no, that's no, right? And she wasn't into that, and so many
that's me with the
people,
devil horn.
yeah, and so many
Don't mind me,
people,
I will tell you why.
exactly, and so many people start out going, no, that's not going to work. That's don't buy the machine. Or why did you buy that machine? What is the point? You didn't start that way. You kind of saw what the potential of it, or you had somebody that was showing you the potential, basically.
Yeah, Mike is a very, very passionate person. He got his first printer because he had an old Lionel antique train set, and
That
you
makes
can't
sense.
replace the parts with those things,
Yep.
but you sure as heck can print them, right?
Yep.
So he got his first 3D printer, and in the search for finding the Christmas villages and the who's and how's it's for this train that he had up around the living room, which we'll put in our store one day, but maybe not now.
Okay.
He found the dragons, and he was like, well, wait a second, if I get 50 printers making me $2 an hour 24 hours a day, that's a pretty decent living, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we're not there yet, but
You're throwing all that
but
money into another store. Yeah.
I know that's the thing is it's like I feel like I'm very blessed to say that I make enough money to buy myself a new pair of jeans every single month. We don't get to go really anywhere. We haven't vacationed. We have been living, eating, and breathing our company, and we plan on doing that for the next 5 or 6 years.
Okay. Okay.
So, yeah,
Oh,
not for the
cool.
faint of heart.
Yeah, definitely. No, and I would agree with that. I think, any type of brick and mortar is rough, but when you
Yeah.
add on top of it a mall type complex, the game changes pretty heavily because the mall's more concerned about what they are going to earn based off you being there versus, you in your own
Yeah.
store. It's a totally different kind of feel.
Yes, you'll hear it very frequently, and you don't hear about this back office talk that the stores in the mall have, but I have a lot of people going, have you hit your goal for this month? I'm like, I don't have last year's numbers to give you guys. I don't know if I'm hitting goal.
Yeah.
I'm making money. The way that the mall has it set actually, and this is something that folks out there looking to expand to a brick and mortar can take a look at. Reach out to your local mall. Malls are losing, like we just lost Forever 21, I want to say like 2 or 3 months ago.
Yeah.
And they were right across the street from us, but they're losing their big Fortune 500 companies.
Yeah.
And it's because the business model isn't working for those companies anymore. You can't have a CEO making millions and millions of dollars a year and then, have this real estate that costs all of this money and expect for it to continue to thrive. That
Yeah.
business model is not working anymore. But mom and pop shops who have different wages to earners on their base floor and cost per square foot, they have really cool small business programs. The way that the one in the mall, the Vancouver Mall, both Vancouver and Clackamas are very similar. They're two different companies but very similar. So they have a small business program in place where you get a store and your rent is actually less than, we did market research on brick and mortar stores outside of the mall as well. For us, it was less than a brick and mortar of the same square footage anywhere in Vancouver. Um, and the caveat is, if for some reason a big client, long-term leasee comes into the mall and says, we want that store, we have to move to a different store in 2 weeks. So we can't get super, super cozy.
Right.
But that is the caveat of the rent being low. The other thing is once we make tenfold of whatever that rent number is, we owe them 10% of our net sales beyond that break point. That is called a break point.
Yeah.
So both malls are operating very similar. Clackamas is a little less forgiving. I think we have 10 days to move to a different store for big triple, they're called triple net clients.
Right.
But if a big client comes in and says, hey, we want your store, we've got 10 days to move from Clackamas. Same thing. We're just placeholders.
Yeah.
For big companies.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that won't be that way forever. I'm hoping to become a permanent, but
yeah.
They want a lot more money that I'm not willing to give right now.
Yeah, and that's and that's what I was saying is, when you're looking at a company like that, they're making money on top of what you need to make, and so it can cause them a few little issues. Now, and you talked about going and talking to your mall and everything, but what would you suggest if somebody said, I want to start a brick and mortar 3D printing shop? What would be, without giving away trade secrets, what would be kind of the idea of, how would you tell them to start? What would you tell them first steps need to be?
Well, get yourself a routine, figure out what works best for you and what you're the most passionate about, because you're not going to be able to sell anything that you don't love, right? So if you love your dice towers, if you think they're stinking awesome, if you love your home decor and think it's stinking awesome, pick your niche. Mine is primarily fidgets, the dragons, the dice towers, and I'm working on branching out to home decor because I love printing my house decorations. I do.
Yeah.
I love my T-Rex Pet G shower head. I'm just saying, I mean,
yeah, I'm with you.
You just got to be passionate about what you do. And the other big thing I think is really important is people are not, in this day and age, when they are buying face to face, they're not just buying the product, they're buying you.
Yeah.
That's also super, super important. So if you're a person that doesn't do well standing out in a crowd or able to captivate your audience, you might want to look into offsetting that to somebody who can, because like I said, in today's day and age, they can buy their stuff on Amazon. Why are they buying it now? Why are they spending more money on filament in my store than they are at Hobby Lobby, who's literally next door to me selling it for half?
Yeah.
Why? Because they're buying the product from me, right?
Yeah. Very, very, very true.
And
so, looking back at that, so you basically, it's probably good to start selling somewhere else before trying to do a brick and mortar, just so you know what you're passionate about.
Market test. It would be really good to start at shows. That's the first place. If you got a kid, get into their little Christmas bazaar, at their school. Start small. That's what we did. We started small and reinvested every penny that we made right back into the business. And products are hit and miss. It's playing target practice in the dark. You put something new out there, you go, oh man, this really didn't sell, we're just going to get rid of it. Or, hey man, this is a top seller, which is where the community comes into play, because I've gotten things for sale in my store that were suggestions from someone that went to a show in Texas, that was like, oh man, these things are selling like crazy at my show. I test them in the store. Wow, they weren't wrong, right? So
yeah. No, that makes
sense.
sense.
Grow your community, grow your audience. So.
And then I'm sure social media, while you have your tutorials and everything you do, I'm sure social media plays a big part into bringing people into a store like that as well, right?
I think it's helped. I definitely think it's helped. Again, like I said, Mike's first company that's still in business today is an SEO company. He invented a technology that all of these big companies, he invented that SEO software. It's not all his anymore. It's a very large evolution of it, but that base technology that he created is still there in a lot of their who's and has it's. Again, I'm really bad with the logistics and the words of these things, but
Yeah.
But yeah, getting yourself indexed on Google, I think is really important.
Okay.
Setting your footprint and setting it down hard. You type in 3D printing in Vancouver, Washington, the only thing that pops up are my TikToks.
Wow. That's
So,
great. That is awesome.
you type in filament in Vancouver, Washington, my face pops up. So,
That is great. That is awesome. So
yeah.
where can people find you?
We have Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, but I will be very honest with you. I live on TikTok. I don't have my TikTok connected to Facebook or Instagram because of how Mike set it up. It's bound to his personal Facebook account, and my TikTok is bound
Gotcha.
to something else. So I have to actually go in and manually upload these videos to each platform. So I'm hit or miss on Facebook and Instagram. They're there if you want to get a response in 20 days. But I live on TikTok.
Right.
That's my home. That's where I post my stuff. It is North Pole 3D printing. You just look that up. I'll pop up everywhere.
Now, do you do
And
lives or you just post?
I just post right now. Printcraft Finds tried to show me how to do the whole live thing, and I looked like a dingus. I don't know what I'm doing.
I think we all do
You
it
know,
first. I think we all
I'm
do.
telling you, my sandbags are full in other categories. So,
Yep. Yeah. Well, and that's where you were talking about offloading and getting other people to do some things. Maybe you'll find
yeah,
somebody who can help do some lives and everything.
yeah.
That's how you find her. Okay. Mr. Monkey Makes, good to see you. Um, yeah, Printcraft Finds like I'm trying to get her to do lives. I get that. Guys, get your last questions in. We're about to close out. We're in the end of this. And so one piece of advice. Let's do one piece of advice that for anybody that's in the room, everybody in here is a maker. Some are 3D printers, some are not. And so when it comes to the idea of finding what you talked about, finding what you love, but then you talked about market testing. And
Yeah.
so which one is more important and why? And so I want you to answer it in English first, and then I want you to answer it in gibberish.
Ooh, how does he know I speak gibberish? Okay. So I think market testing is definitely important. You want to do what you love. Let's just say you really want to print vases. We'll just use vases I'm not saying this is a go-to or a not go-to. This is your world, right, friends? You're going to want to print 5 or 6 different vases, different types of vases, different styles of vases, and you're going to want to take it to a show, primarily, hopefully a show that is like a vintage hall show or something to that
Right.
effect. You don't want to go to a Comic-Con selling vases. You guys got to use your deductive reasoning there. But but print the different vases and then go, okay, well, this vase sold the most. I'm going to toss the other ones. I'm going to keep selling this vase, right? Oh, I told you, it's
there's a
always the
cat.
orange one. It's always the orange one. Get down. I told you, I was watching them. I was trying to keep them from tearing it up. I know that Kayla, our previous team member, she went and we helped her sponsor the chicken fashion show, and she killed it there. She killed it there because she
Awesome.
printed chicken earrings, picnic tables,
Jesus,
chicken arms. If it was chicken related, this girl went to the nines
that's
and
great.
printed all of this chicken memorabilia, and she killed it at that show. Why? Because that was the type of product that needed to go at that show. If you're going to a Christmas bazaar, it might be more beneficial to think about Christmas stuff. And what do people need at Christmas? They need gift boxes, they need ornaments, they need the wrapping paper cutters, just simple stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then test your market. If you have a consistent location like we do, we always go send our new products down to the Portland Saturday market because it's a tourist attraction from people all over the world, and go, okay, that is cool. That's selling really fast. We're going to put it in our store, right?
Yep. Yep.
That's why we keep that location.
Yeah, of course. All right, give us something in gibberish.
The guy did the gun, the guy, you the gun, the gee to the goose of the gay. The guy, love the gov, throw the gee to the gee for the gin to the ging. The gets for the gill of the gee for the gun. You wanted in Pig Latin too, yikes, big patenly.
There you go.
I may aim as a errand to tay.
Pig Latin I did when I was little. Now, we had twins in my school who were great at gibberish, and they would walk around and talk gibberish, and nobody knew what they were.
I'm telling you, it's a cheat code. I love my cheat codes. My parents spoke in gibberish when I was a little kid.
That's awesome.
to try to talk about birthday presents and stuff. But you know, when you're a little kid, it's just like living in a bilingual household. One day I was just like, oh my God, I understand everything they say.
Yeah.
So what did I do? I had to go teach all my friends
Of
so
course.
that we could talk about the teachers. So now all my friends speak gibberish. And también he tomado 4 años en la escuela de español. Es más
Nice,
fácil
yeah.
para hablar. A language is a thing that I pick up very
That's
easily.
awesome.
So yeah.
That is awesome. That is great. Well, cool. Well,
I need German now. I need to sound like me.
German's fun.
English,
I know a
you know,
little bit of
so.
German. I knew more back in college. I got to spend some time in Germany, but Germany's just so fun. Just it's so guttural. It's
I
it's
just
just
love
a
how
strong
harsh it
language.
is.
Yeah.
Like if I wanted to say something stern to somebody in a very aggressive way, I would love to just get one phrase out there in German, you know?
Yeah. No, that would, and it's a good one.
Yell at my
It's a
kids
good
in
language.
German.
That'd be awesome. That would be awesome. All right, guys. All right, this is it. This is it, guys. We're going to end, and y'all know who we've been talking to. We've been talking to Turinda of North Pole
Thank you.
3D Printing. It is right there. You see North Pole 3D Printing all smashed together. Check her out over on TikTok. Follow them. See what's happening. They're opening a second store. Do you have, like, what's your goal? Are you just doing 2 stores? Do you have a number of stores you're aiming for?
Oh,
on.
my friend.
Come on.
I am a top performer. I am
Okay.
going to run until I have a heart attack.
Okay.
And so Oregon is my next destination. My goal is at this point, once we get the 2 stores, to get them to man themselves.
Okay.
And then once they man themselves and they are running themselves, I'm going to start puddle jumping. So just keep that in mind.
Guys, I feel like franchises are coming in the future. So keep her as a friend. Keep her as a friend. Well, that is awesome. Well, thank you so much for being here tonight. I really, really do appreciate it. It's been a lot of fun.
Thank you.
And
Yeah.
been fun getting to know you. And I'm sure we'll see each other more and more as we go. I hate you're over there and can't come to like 3D Printopia or any of the events, but
You know, and that kills me because Daniel, I think, is West again. I'm bringing up West 3D, but I think he's going.
they will be there. Yes.
If he's
they
going,
will
you
be.
better demand that caramel apple hot sauce.
Okay, I'll ask him about it.
And that's on me. I will pay for it if he makes you buy it.
I'll ask him about it. I'll find some.
You need all the caramel apple hot sauce. It's
Yeah,
gonna
but
trend on TikTok next you watch.
Everybody in the room loves you. Lots of hugs and kisses. Sorry I didn't catch it all. We got Love Turinda from BK3D Designs. You got a lot of friends in the room. And
thank you.
Charlotte and Dad 3D Print. Great job. Do more lives.
Yeah, his daughter's so cute.
Yeah, that's
She's so
awesome.
cute.
That's awesome. Well, guys, thank y'all. I'm going to drop you back to the green room. I'll jump in just a minute. I'm going to give my goodbyes, and we will end this show. But, guys, thank y'all so much for being here tonight. I really appreciate it. That was a good one. So you see how we have families, right? I mean, look at her, look at the support, look at the growth of the family, parents, and, you know, no matter the situation, we need that, right? Whether it's through community, whether it's through our actual family, we need that community. And that is what Asylum Life is all about. And, you know, tonight I think we learned about a new creator. You may have not have followed her. Go follow her. Go find out. Go see the things she's doing. She does tutorials. She does all sorts of things that would just be great for you to sit and learn, that would help you on your way, because that's the live and grow. We want to grow in that knowledge, right? And she's one of those people that will help you grow. She's very business minded. She's very, very direct in the things she does, and a great person to just follow and see what's happening. I can't wait to see what's going to be happening in the future for her. But thank y'all so much. Thank you for the gifts. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for the follows and everything. Remember, we are a value for value company, and I appreciate the value that you put into this show. I hope that I give enough value back to keep you here. So remember the time, talent, and treasure. That's what we always talk about. Jump over in the Discord, become a part of the community. We have some amazing people over there that you want to get to know, who will become lifetime friends. So always remember to live life to the fullest, grow in wisdom, and show what you have learned generously. Catch y'all later, guys. See y'all Tuesday.